Hello everyone, I am Dr. Temilola Apina. I am your facilitator for EDU714 History of Education in Nigeria. In this course, we'll be discussing Introduction to History of Education in Nigeria, Advent of Western Education in Nigeria, Islamic Education, the coming of the missionaries to Nigeria, their impact. We'll talk about colonial government involvement in Nigerian education. We'll talk about 1887 and 1916 ordinances. We'll talk about impact of PEPSO Commission on education in Nigeria. We'll also talk about regionalization of education. We'll talk about current status of education in the northern part of Nigeria and some other things. I wish you a successful session. Thank you. Hello everyone. Our topic today is the early missionaries and the development of education in Nigeria. In this topic, we are going to discuss the first Christian missionary attempt in Nigeria. We are going to discuss the reasons for the penetration into Nigeria in the 19th century. We will discuss their activities. We will also discuss early mission schools in Nigeria. We will discuss the aim of the schools. We will also discuss the problems of the early mission schools in Nigeria. We will discuss the contributions of the early missions to education in Nigeria. Do join me and have a wonderful session. Thank you. This is History of Education in Nigeria. I am your regular facilitator, Dr. Temilola. The intended learning outcome for this course is that at the end of this discussion, you should be able to state reasons why Europeans visited Nigeria in the 1840s, examine the activities of the early missionaries in Nigeria, state the aim, content, and control of the early mission schools, mention the problems of early mission schools in Nigeria, list out the contributions of the early missionaries to Nigeria. The Christian missionary activities in Nigeria. The Portuguese merchants visited Nigeria as early as 1472. By 1485, they had started trading with the Benin people. By 1515, the Portuguese established a primary school in Oba's palace for his children and wives. They were consequently converted to Christians. The activities really started in Nigeria in 1842. The focus that time was evangelism, which necessitated early mission schools. Technically, the condition for the engagement was basic rudiments of education and acceptance of Christianity for the motive of effective engagement of Africans in commerce to be successful. Reasons for 19th century European penetration. The first reason is industrial revolution through exploration. Between 1795 and 1850, People like Mungo Park, Clapperton, Lander Brothers, Bachenrich, they were already in Nigeria for business. Transatlantic trade was the second one. 1833 saw the end of slave trade, and after the slave trade, an alternative business, an alternative trade was introduced to Nigeria. The activities of the early missionaries in Nigeria. Different groups formed as a result of abolition of slave trade in Europe. The groups are Baptist Missionary Movement, which was formed in 1792, the London Missionary Society, which was formed in 1795, the Church Missionary Society, which was formed in 1790. On the 24th of September 1842, the Wesleyan Methodist Society sent their representative, Reverend Thomas Bert Freeman, to Badagry. In 1843, Reverend Samuel Ajayi Crowther too, Reverend C.A. Goma, and Mr. Henry Townsend, all from church missionary, arrived Badagry. When they arrived Badagry for work, they moved to Abeokuta, where they founded two schools, one for boys and the other for girls. The Presbyterian mission arrived at Calabar almost at the same time and established a station there in 1846. The Southern Baptist Convention opened a school at Ijaye in Abeokuta in 1853 and another one in Lagos in 1955. The various missionary bodies that came to Nigeria at that time were Wesleyan Methodist Society, Church Missionary Society, Baptist Mission, Roman Catholic Mission, the Presbyterian Church of Scotland, Primitive Methodist Society, and Kwaibo Mission. Early mission schools in Nigeria. Schools were established inside church premises because the aim was to communicate to Christian religion. The focus was religion, and the second one was trade. So the European mission had to establish schools. It was established inside church premises. Europeans used education as a means of converting Nigeria into various denominations. It was like a bait. Education was like a bait that they used to convert people in those days. Missions confined themselves within the area of literacy, religion, and moral education. Aims of mission schools. The first aim was the training of indigenous manpower to carry evangelical work in communities. There was no enough manpower, so indigenous people had to be trained to assist the Christian missionaries in executing the work that they came for. Number 2, training of lower manpower to serve as interpreters, clerks, and cleaners for missionaries and their businessmen. They were using them as people like, as cleaners. They were using them as assistants, both in their various homes and in the churches. So they had to be trained to do all this. The content of mission schools were: 1. The Christian religious knowledge, arithmetic, reading, and writing. That was the first content. Also, there was reference, the main reference was the Holy Bible, and there was no separation between the church and the school, since the school was already inside the church. The church agents and their wives double play as teachers. They were also teachers. They were catechists, they were interpreters, they were clerks, they were cleaners, and they were also teachers in the school. They worked in the school and they worked in the church. Problems of the early mission schools: lack of uniformity in rules and curriculum. There was no uniformity. What happens in this school is different from what happens in the other school. Unlike nowadays, when we have the same syllabus, the same curriculum, each school, each missionary group were doing what they thought was right. Lack of qualified teachers. Like I said earlier on, the the church people also double play as teachers. Those clerks, those cleaners, those interpreters, they were also teachers, so they were not trained. Absenteeism was the order of the day on the part of both teachers and pupils. There wasn't register, there was no record. People come and go when they like to school. So like we said earlier on, that no uniformity in rules. People were going to school at their convenient time and moving out at their convenient time. Shortage of funds. There was not enough funds to run the schools. The method of teaching was rote learning, no other method. Everything was put to art. Primary school pupils, they memorized whatever they were taught. No interest in commitment to secondary or vocational education, because their focus was just to get people to do some work. What they needed people to gain was basic rudiments of education. So there was no plan for anything further. There was gap between education of the north and that of the south. Because the missionaries came to the southern part first, the education of the southern Nigeria moved forward more than that of the northern Nigeria. It was later that the European missionaries, the Christian missionaries, moved up. Some contributions of the early missions: they introduced and laid foundation for Western education in Nigeria. Whether we like it or not, education came to Nigeria through the early missionaries. So they were the people who brought it to us. Whether with the intention of converting people or the genuine intention of getting Nigerians educated, they brought Western education. They laid the foundation. They introduced and chose a lingua franca for the nation, which is their own language, English. This was necessitated by the fact that Nigeria is a multilingual and multi-ethnic group. So one language had to be chosen, and for peace to reign, for one language not to be assumed superior to the other, English had to be chosen as at that time. The Christian missionaries produced the first written words in local language. It was one of the missionaries that translated our local language, that translated English to our local language. Even the first Bible, the first Yoruba Bible, was translated. They eradicated slave trade and other vices in Africa. Like in the olden days, when a king dies, somebody had to die with the king. When a community want to do a certain festival, they must use human being for sacrifice. The Christian missionaries that time put an end to all those things, and they introduced their religion to us, Christian religion. Class activity. Thank you. Hi. We have come to the end of today's lesson. In this lesson, we have discussed the first Christian missionary attempt in Nigeria. We have discussed the reasons for European penetration into Nigeria in the 19th century. We have also discussed the activities of the early missionaries in Nigeria. We discussed the early mission schools in Nigeria, the aims of mission schools, the problems of early mission schools, and the contributions of the early mission to Nigerian education. Thank you.